is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
What a weekend for Oregon athletics, and what a day it was yesterday on Sunday. Oregon took home a Big Ten title on the women's golf course, both as a team and as an individual. It was a really good day for Derek Radley's squad as Kiara Romero took home the individual title, and Oregon as a team took home the fifth Big Ten title for the Oregon Athletic Department this year. Kiara Romero won the individual title, shooting a 7-under, including a 4-under round on Sunday. And Oregon Women's Golf joins an exclusive group that's actually starting to get less exclusive of Oregon football, Oregon women's cross country, Oregon indoor track and field on the men's side, and Oregon women's indoor track and field as the fifth team around the athletic department to take home a Big Ten title in Oregon's first year in the conference. And it was not a sure bet for Oregon going into Sunday in the Big Ten championships in Maryland. The Ducks were trailing by 3 strokes entering the final round. Oregon entered that final round at even par. Then what the Ducks did on Sunday is shoot 12 under and won the team title by 14 strokes. Not only did Oregon enter into the final round trailing by 3 strokes, Oregon put together such a stellar Sunday that the Ducks ended up tying the Big Ten tournament record for the lowest score in a tournament with their 12 under performance on the weekend, and their big 12 under performance on Sunday as well matched the 54-hole Big Ten tournament scoring record. For Kiara Romero, she was able to put together a really strong 4 under final round to secure the individual title at 7 under par. And it was a battle for the individual title as well through the first, 2.5 days until Kiara Romero ran away with it, sunk 2 big putts on both 15 and 16 to really close out her win with birdies on both 15 and 16. The Ducks won the team title even without Karen Suru, who was with the team in Maryland but has been just dealing with a minor back injury, did not compete during the Big Ten tournament. Suru, a sophomore and underclassman, well, it didn't matter because her replacement, also an underclassman. All of Oregon's scorers were underclassmen. It's not only a team that's having success right now, it's a team that is built for success moving forward in the future. Kiara Romero led all Ducks at 7 under. Tong An shot 2 under for the tournament, including the low round for the tournament, shooting a 66 with 6 under on Sunday to bring her under par. The woman they call Hut, Sivachayevina Chaitham, shot 1 under for the tournament, including a 3 under 69 on Sunday. Oregon had 3 women finish under par as the Ducks work their way to a team title on the women's golf course. And it is now a team that is set up for a lot of success down the stretch run of the season. Derek Radley's club, they continue year after year to be very, very strong and set themselves up for success at the top of the nation, and Oregon is in the same spot once again. The Ducks are a virtual lock to be a 1 seed in an NCAA regional. With the win, they clinch a spot into the regional round. Not like there was really going to be much debate about it. The Ducks sitting at number 5 in the country, firmly in contention, but the Ducks will get their regional draw on Wednesday. The Golf Channel will have the selection show for women's golf on Wednesday at 10 a.m. to decide where Oregon is going. First to the regional round, and then if Oregon is one of the top 5 teams in the regional round, advancing past to the NCAAs, in which Oregon was last year as the Ducks finished in the national semifinal last season. Oregon gave it a real run last year. The Ducks in prime position to do so again with some really stellar young talent that is experienced because of what they went through last year, and now have some championship pedigree of their own this season with the Big Ten title for women's golf. Kiara Romero's individual win, her first individual win this season, the third of her career, as she continues to make her mark on the University of Oregon and a bunch of record books and leaderboards around the university, just young into her what is going to be a continuous stellar collegiate career for Kiara Romero. Really happy for Derek Radley's club. A big victory for Oregon to take home their 5th Big Ten championship already this season. And with some of the results that went on around the rest of the athletic department this weekend, especially on Sunday, there might be a few more Oregon teams that are in the hunt to potentially make that number grow a little bit more than 5. Oregon softball with a big win over UCLA in the series. Both Oregon softball and baseball played UCLA this weekend. Both series were incredibly similar in terms of their makeup, and the Ducks won the bookends on Friday and Sunday of both of those series to take crucial series wins against the Bruins. We'll hear from Coach Wasikowski and Coach Lombardi later in the show, give some context on the implications of what those victories mean in the home series this last weekend for the Oregon Diamond Sports. Also, Oregon spring game. We're less than a week away from the spring game. It's on Saturday, this Saturday. Dan Lannon going through spring practices. He met with the media. We're going to get a quick timeout, and then Coach Dan Lanning. He met with the media, still going through spring practices, getting prepared to welcome everybody to Autzen Stadium coming up a week from Saturday, and just 5 days from now. Spring game is right around the corner. So is the head coach, Dan Lanning, when we return after this on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday after a really busy weekend in Oregon athletics, and it'll be an even more packed weekend in Oregon athletics around the Autzen Complex coming up next week, because the spring game is less than a week away on Saturday at Autzen Stadium. Dan Lanning getting his team prepared during spring practices. He met with the media. Dan Lanning, as always, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. His meeting with the media on Saturday, a week out from Oregon's spring game. Let's hear from Coach Lanning.
Appreciate your patience. We got some ball players walking around here today, so spend some time with them. But really good days scrimmage-wise, some really good competitive periods all around. Definitely fun for our group. I'm definitely seeing improvement across the board in all phases. So we're going to open it up.
I know you guys aren't doing ones and twos, but considering how many new faces are on the offensive line, how have you seen that group kind of gelling so far this spring?
Yeah, some good, some bad, right? Kind of the same answer you probably always get from me, right? But there's we had some explosive runs today, had some errors in protection, had some positives. So that's the piece about practice, man. It's about developing and continuing to grow.
You mentioned some explosive runs. Who had some of those, and any defensive plays that stand out, takeaways, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, there was 2 interceptions today. I mean, several of our backs had positive runs. I can't name every single one of them right now, but there was good ebb and flow throughout practice. You know, finishing off with a competitive 2-minute series there at the end as well. So overall, good day.
How would you describe the overall command of the offense the quarterbacks have shown from scrimmage 1 to now scrimmage 2?
Yeah, I'm just seeing growth, right? I'm seeing guys, take steps and move in the right direction. I've seen our coaches even say, okay, hey, there's something we got to challenge ourselves to give a little bit more to these guys because they're handling it well. They're able to process it.
I want to talk to you about Kingston. You guys put him in a big role last year in the Big Ten Championship game, put him on Warren. What kind of gave you that confidence in him to throw him out there as a true freshman without a lot of game experience?
Yeah, just what he does every day in practice. That's the part that we get to see. And Kingston's going to be an unbelievable player for us. He's had a really good spring so far, but, he earned those moments by what he did in practice. And you come here as a talented guy, and if you're good enough, you're old enough. We say that all the time. So as a freshman, we had confidence in him going in there to do his job.
Sasha talked earlier in the spring about deliberately kind of dialing back a little bit of defense because of the lack of experience you use. At this point in the spring, how far in the install, like compared to a year ago, where it would have been more experience for just how much the defense is in and how much you guys want that?
Yeah, to be real, we have most of our stuff in at this point, and they're handling that well. When they prove that they can't handle it, that's when you really back it up. And we were probably a little bit slower with our process as far as install, but at this point, we have almost everything in.
You had Taylor Lewan and Will Compton in here last week, kind of spending some time with the players and with yourself. What was that experience like, and what do you think your players took away from that?
Yeah, it was great. Those guys are 2 guys that have done it at the highest level, have played at the highest level. And they're doing an unbelievable job kind of in what they're in now, right? But they're fun guys to be around. I think our players like to lean on the experience that those guys have. And they bring flavor and juice, when they step out on the field or in the weight room, which is fun for our players to be around. Yeah, I feel great. Feel great about it. I think we got a good group. We're getting a lot of experience there.
Staying with that group, Jerry Mixon, a guy that's been in and out, but he's played every year. What's just kind of his growth so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's become more and more comfortable out there on the field for us. He's a guy that's around the ball consistently. He's always been a guy that, creates turnover-worthy plays, and he's communicating really well, so he's had a really good spring so far.
How much is Devin Stewart been able to do lately, and just what is the rest of that group look like here in the scrimmage setting?
Yeah, love our depth there. We got a lot of guys I think that can play winning football, and Evan's certainly a part of that.
Last question, James. Well, we won't get you before the draft, but so a couple of draft-related ones, Stanford. One, what significance of it all do you place on Josh and Jordan being the first of the guys who you would have signed, being those for that first wave of guys going in, Josh essentially in the first round, and for Terrence specifically, the first tight end here to be drafted in 9 years. to change the culture of that room going forward, set a new standard?
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys have established what it means to be at Oregon, and now to get them, see them get the opportunity to carry on their dreams is really exciting. Josh being a guy that was in that first signing class with us and put himself in an unbelievable position because of the way he worked every day. Terrence, Jordan, those guys all have the same traits. When they stepped on the field, they worked, right? And when they were in the practice watching film, they worked, right? And now they're getting to reap those benefits. Really excited for those guys.
Dan Lanning talking about the NFL draft coming up this weekend. Also, the Oregon spring game coming up this weekend. Steve asks on YouTube, will the spring game be televised? Yes, it will. Big Ten Network will have the television call of the spring game. Also, the Oregon Sports Network, we will have our own radio broadcast of the spring game, same as a traditional football broadcast. So all the same operations that go into a normal football game day will be going into the spring game day, but it does look a little bit different for those of you who are attending the game in person. With the construction that's going on with the new indoor practice facility, it means that there is a little bit different of a traffic flow going into Autzen Stadium for the spring game. It means that it will only really be one entrance into the Autzen complex down on Martin Luther King Boulevard as you come around. If you're watching live with us on YouTube, Facebook in the 1 o'clock hour, it's the one backside entrance that is currently open at entry 4. That is the only one that will be open, which means that it will be congested. There will be a little bit of a bottleneck. Make sure you have a parking plan. There will be parking lots that are open on campus side as well. More information will continue to come out on GoDucks.com as the week continues to move forward. Make sure you are following along on the social media channels and on GoDucks.com to make sure that you have a parking plan for the Oregon football spring game, and maybe just account for the fact that it is going to look a little bit different with the construction going on for the new indoor practice facility. Means that it is going to be a little bit of a different game day operation in terms of getting in and parking at Autzen Stadium. Other than that, though, it's going to be a great spring game. Always, it is free to attend the spring game, but it is encouraged to donate to Food for Lane County. As always, one of the best Food for Lane County partnerships throughout the entire year. Oregon spring game is always super impactful around the community, so make sure you bring your non-perishable food items for Food for Lane County. Going to be a big day on Saturday. It's going to be a doubleheader on Saturday. After the spring game, it'll also be Oregon State baseball at PK Park. And, well, the Ducks on the baseball side of things had one heck of an appetizer this weekend for what that series is going to bring next week because Oregon put together a really strong result against UCLA. So did Oregon softball. We're talking about the Diamond Sports and their efforts to take down top 15 Bruins on both sides. That's coming up when we return after this on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle.
Or forget extra diapers.
You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It was a stellar Diamond Sports weekend around Eugene this weekend. With UCLA coming into town in both softball and baseball, there were some big implications for Big Ten standings coming down the stretch run of the season, NCAA positioning for regional sites and all of that on both baseball and softball. And we'll start with Oregon softball, who got it done with a series victory over UCLA. The first series victory for Oregon softball over the Bruins since 2018, the first series victory over UCLA in the Missy Lombardi era. And it just feels like whenever Oregon is playing UCLA on the diamond, it's a big measuring stick type of series with two of the best teams, if not the two best teams on the entire West Coast going at it. And for Oregon to win the series against UCLA on the softball diamond, it was huge. Friday's game was the most pivotal, I think, of the three. It was the tightest contested on the softball diamond, a 3-1 victory for Oregon on Friday. The Ducks were getting no hit into the fourth inning until Riley McCoy hit a solo shot to give Oregon a 1-0 lead in the fourth. Then it was a necessary two-run home run for Kedri Lushar in the sixth inning, which put Oregon up 3-0. UCLA put up a run in the seventh. Oregon held on to win 3-1 in a tightly contested Friday game. Lindsey Graham threw 5 1/3 shutout innings and earned the win. Then Oregon didn't come out the way that they wanted to on Saturday. It was an 8-0 loss on Saturday for Oregon against UCLA, who evened up the series. But the great thing about Diamond Sports is very next day you can come out and you can avenge that loss. And that's exactly what the Ducks did on Sunday. It was a 9-0 Oregon victory on Sunday where Oregon took the lead early. It felt like the runs in the first inning were a big turning point to erase the memory of what was Saturday for Oregon. And you'll hear Coach Lombardi talk about it. You've heard her talk about it throughout the course of the year. This team, they take their game, whether it's a win or whether it's a loss, they talk about it in the dugout, and then they go home. They don't think about it. They come back to the ballpark the next day. That really manifested itself after both Riley McCoy and Paige Sinicki had RBI singles in the first inning to give Oregon a 2-0 lead. Then the Ducks added 2 more in the third inning, highlighted by a Kedri Lushar RBI triple, and the Ducks really poured it on in the fourth. A 5-run fourth inning for Oregon, including Kalen Jones' first career home run. Lindsey Graham threw 5 shutout innings on Sunday. She also threw a shutout inning on Saturday. Lindsey Graham combined for 11 1/3 shutout innings against the 6th-ranked UCLA Bruins team. It was very talented competition going into Jane Sanders Stadium. Oregon got the better of UCLA and won the series against the Bruins. After Sunday's series victory, Coach Lombardi, she met with the media, and taking home a series against the Bruins, it's not easy to do. I think a pretty pleased Coach Lombardi after the Sunday response.
I think it's fair to say you were better in every facet today. What was it like to see your team perform like that with all the stakes in this moment?
I loved it. I just think what their preparation and their process all year put them in a great position to do what they needed to do. I think this team's done a good job of not getting too high, not getting too low. Every time we win, we leave it. We get done. We talk about it, we celebrate it, and we leave it right there. Every time when we don't get what we want and we lose, we talk about it, we get better from it, and we leave it right there. So I think just a very mature team.
You said yesterday that wasn't Ducks softball, that they didn't perform to the level that you expected them or that they expected themselves. To see the team be able to respond like they did today, after what happened yesterday, Does that mean anything more to you? I mean, is that more special than just a regular win to be able to come back after yesterday?
I think for them, just to trust in who they are. I think yesterday we didn't trust enough in who we were, and today I think we definitely did that. You know, I told them before this game, I said, you know, our speed is so elite, and we haven't showed that all weekend. So, you know, we need to get on so we can do one of the things that we do really, really well, and that's run. And so to see Kai get on every at-bat and to see these guys get on, and then, I mean, I think we stole 4 stolen bases. You got to see, like, what's the best thing about us all game long. So
you mentioned, I think, after the Oregon State game, like, it was the one inning you got the leadoff runner on.
Right.
And so it happens, a couple times today. Just how different of an offense are you when you get your leadoff runner on and start to set things in motion that way?
That's when you get to really see how good we can be, because we get to do what we do best, and that's run. So.
Talked about it being a postseason game yesterday. I asked you about that. It just wasn't the game you guys wanted, but to win on Sunday, you guys want to win going forward. You have to win on Sunday. It's just how much of a confidence boost does a game like this give you guys going forward?
Good. I think it just really gets them to understand who they are. You know, I think sometimes throughout the year we are not understanding who we are, and a game like this, it gets them to understand like. Some of our games leading up to this, we have won, but it's taken us a little bit to get there, and it's like them, like ourselves. It comes out. It's just been coming out late in the game, so it's like, how can we be who we are right from the start? And that's what I thought the difference was. Like, it comes out every game. It's just, is it coming out early or is it coming out late? Today it came out right on time.
When you talked about power that Caitlin had, and she hadn't hit a home run yet, just, you know, as a coach, what did that moment be like for you, another freshman, to get a home run on board?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that at all. She might have been a little more surprised than me, but I'm not. K-Dub hits the ball hard. K-Dub is very, very strong. So sometimes you get one, and then you go, oh, I can do that. And then all of a sudden they start to come a little bit more. But no, she's got good power.
Expanding on that just a bit, this team is, in my opinion, fairly unique because they don't have individual attributes. They all kind of have multiple, you know, they can hit for power and speed, do station to station, you know, those, all the little things, they can do whatever's called upon. Being able to have that as a team, I mean, you've got a starting lineup that's almost all hitting 300. You know, that's not something that is common for coaches to have. What is it like for you to be able to have kind of a full arsenal of everything at your disposal?
I just think it gives us opportunity to win. I think, you know, the more opportunities, the different types of ways that we can win, it's very important, because just every day you get a new umpire, you get a new day, you know, and you're going to have to find a different way to win. And so I think it's important that we know that we can win in multiple ways. So it just shows how versatile our team is, how athletic we are.
Can you talk about just the parents of the players out there? They're obviously making a lot of noise. Like, how pivotal do you think they've been in supporting their daughters, getting them to your team, and how much have they helped you kind of build your program in these last 7 years?
They've been great. Our parents have been really supportive. I just think when we are on the road, we've got like a great following, and it starts with our families and, you know, just what they're willing to do to just be in the stands, whether it's home or whether it's away. You could see just the unity that they have as a group. They're a fun group. And, you know, as a parent, I know this with my son. You just live and die on every, you know, you just want your kid to do so good. And so just to see them and just how they want all, you know, they have their daughter and then the rest of the team. Like, they just want to see everybody do so well. So just, it's awesome to get their support.
And then just in general, how do you think the atmosphere was this weekend, just overall?
Phenomenal, unbelievable. This is why I came. This is why I wanted to be a coach here, because I got to face this as an opponent and it sucked. And to be able to like be on the good guy's side with it is unreal. It's just Jane Sanders. There's nothing else. There's nothing else like the Jane, and our fans are so passionate. You know what's pretty cool is yesterday we had a rough day yesterday. Things did not go our way, and our entire team came out to sign autographs yesterday. And they got applauded from our fans. And I thought that was awesome. I'm like, wow, our fans totally get it. They get it. Sometimes you're not going to always play your best, but to support them and say, no problem, you got this tomorrow. Like, I'm like, wow, our fans are just the best. So impressive. But again, we need our fans to have an environment like that, and they had a huge part of what we did this weekend.
Sticking to the big picture, Missy, I know you don't like to make things about you, but rarely are instances in these 7 years where you could really say, like, coaches talk about, like, those arrival moments. We've arrived. And I know the postseason stands out more than that. You hadn't beaten them. You had some great games with them over 7 years, certainly. But you hadn't beaten them. What does this, in the culmination of a process where they were the measuring stick of Pac-12 softball, Pac-10 softball, to finally do it, to get this, to have this setting, these things hadn't been here, and to have 2 outings from Lindsay that are probably Sheridan Hawkins level in terms of this program.
Yeah.
What does this feel like to you, the couple, to be through all of the things that you had to endure in year 1 and getting Jordan in night 1 of that series, and the years since, and Brooke in 21, then she goes there to finally get this. What does this feel like to you?
Just love it. I love what our team is doing. This team's worked really, really hard. Really hard. And I just think about their preparation from the beginning of the year to now, and celebrating victories, and then having moments of us not doing well and finding ways to get better. And I just love how this team just keeps grinding. I just love how they keep grinding. I love this team, and I love how much they want to do it for each other. And I think when you have a team like that, that's when you're lethal. You know, I've always said this: in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. You know, UCLA, they're a storied program. And so to have the opportunity to play them over and over and over and figure out ways to beat them, like, that's what it's all about. So this series right here is why I coach, why these guys train. You know, it's for having series like this, regardless of what side you're on of it. It's about being able to be in these moments right here and treat it normal and not make it too big. And that's what I think these guys do a great job of. They love to compete. You could definitely see us compete today. And watching us compete like that, they're continuing with their process and understanding how to elevate their game right at the right time with the season and where we're at.
What kind of confidence does taking this series give you guys as you head into the final 2 weekends of the regular season?
I think it gives us a lot of confidence. You know, I think just them understanding that what they're doing is right, and just to keep training and to not take a day off, don't take a pitch off, that every pitch is so important. You could see that. I mean, there was times where they were ready to open up the game, and then Paige comes up with a, you know, diving catch double play ball. I mean, even the last out, you know, to see Kedry catch that ball and come up and just throw a dime, you know, these guys did not stop.
Have you talked to Paige much this week? Because she's had some plays, some hot shots that we got used to seeing her make, some plays that she didn't make. And then, you know, that inning was obviously amazing. It was like, that. Yeah, that's Paige. Did you have to coach her through any of the, you know, the last few days, or was it just like, hey, stick with it, you know what you got in her?
Yeah, no. Paige is Paige. I just think Paige is like not human, so we expect her to make every single play. I mean, a couple of those balls, it felt like they were like 200 miles per hour coming at her, and we're like, how did you not make that play? Right? So, no. I think Paige is great. I love what she does. Like, she's just the heart and soul of our team. She leads, and we all follow her. So,
what did Lindsay have working in particular today, maybe a little differently, because she did get behind Pola and Grant a couple of times and still manages to get out of that, which is not too many pitchers in the country can fall behind those hitters and still get outs. So what was working in those spots when she really needed it?
Yeah, I just think the belief, the belief in her stuff, and just knowing to shove and let her defense work behind her. And I think she believes in what she does, but she believes in the team and everybody that's behind her, and that they've got her back. And I think for all of our pitchers, knowing that our defense is so good and that they've got our back, it doesn't make them feel like they have to anything. She just gets to get out there and do what she loves to do.
Lindsey Grine just believes that she can shove. Oregon had a big-time weekend series victory over UCLA on the diamond at the Jane. Big thanks to Lindsey Grine, who put together a really productive weekend. 11 1/3 combined innings over the weekend. Didn't allow a run against a very potent UCLA lineup. Lindsey Grine, after she threw 5 shutout innings in the Sunday victory against UCLA, talked with the media after the series victory.
Can I ask about the defense and maybe specifically Paige? There's been some plays the last few days where, not that she was making errors, but like you might expect her to make that she didn't, and then that one inning to make 2 really spectacular plays. Like, what did it mean to see her kind of in her unique form that she has, and as that fit into the defensive performance all day?
Yeah, our defense and Paige, they're just outstanding. I think if you guys could see the work that goes into their performance, when it comes game time, they're just showcasing what they can do. They're absolutely outstanding. They make it less stressful to throw. They make it easy, and they do an amazing job supporting me on and off the field. They're amazing. They're amazing athletes, but they're even better people. So yeah, I actually sat down with Paige last night at dinner. I was like, hey, sorry the balls are coming in so hot. I'll do what I can. And she's like, no, bring them on. And I think that was the coolest thing as a friend and as a teammate, to just pick me up like that was huge.
Did you put a lot of pressure on yourself today to go in there and have this performance?
No, I mean, I think like when Coach Rose says, like, when you're given pressure or you feel like there's pressure, you have to apply it instead, apply it to the other person. So I think for me, it's like, of course, like you live for these big games. You want to be in these big moments. For me, I just look at my team and my defense and my coaches and my people, and I love them enough, so I want to give my best because I love my people. So that's kind of how I operate under pressure.
You picked up strikeout number 400 today. It feels like number 300 wasn't even that long ago, but I remember we asked you post-game of that game. I remember you said you were kind of surprised, like, oh, it just happened. Were you kind of more aware about that number, or was it kind of the same, just locked in on the game?
No, just another game. I got a lot more to do, too. So, yeah, just another game. It's cool. But, yeah, I'm just excited to move forward and get on to what's next.
Yeah, you guys obviously have kind of set a high ceiling for yourself. You know, Kedra used the term World Series team. How do you feel like you guys are embracing kind of what your potential is and what it'll take to reach it?
Yeah, I think I said it earlier in the season, but we haven't set a ceiling. I think that's the scary part about the Ducks. There's no ceiling for us. So, I mean, like I said, we go in, day out, and we give our 100. And that's the standard, and we really dive into that, and that's what our coaches demand from us, and you know, that's just how we roll. It's work hard, play hard, and just reach for the stars, see what happens.
I know you say that you pitch against a faceless opponent, but when those faceless opponents have numbers, you know, top 25 team, you haven't given up a run this season. Is there anything different? Do you feel different? You just have more motivation to perform when you're facing those bigger teams?
No, I'd just say that I know it's not a great answer, but it really is a faceless opponent. What motivates me to perform is just my teammates. So I really look to them, and they boost me up. They help me do my job, and Coach helps me do my job. So, yeah, I wish I could give you a better answer, but that's the truth.
First time in your career starting 3 days in a row, what does it take to just kind of find that little extra in the tank and kind of reach back and really be able to kind of pull those pitches and know you have to kind of give your everything when you've been exhausted and against a team like this?
I mean, my coaches and teammates, I get carried by them. They help me a ton. They're great, and they really pushed me through today. Me and Coach Lombardi worked really hard in the dugout. We were on breaks, and she just really carried me through that game. I couldn't do it without her. So, yeah, my people. For sure.
What does doing it in a weekend, though, lets you mean in terms of when you get to postseason time and when it matters like that? It's hard to know and feel confident in a setting if you haven't done it before. If this was a super caliber weekend in a super regional sense, what does doing it give you by way of confidence when that time comes? Should that time come that, yeah, you can go out there back-to-back days or all 3 days and do the same thing?
I think just in general, I'd do anything for this team. And if I put my mind to it for these people, I can do anything. And put my faith in God, put my faith in Coach, put my faith in my people, and they're gonna make it. They're gonna help me make it happen. So I would say there's no trial here. We just dive right in, and I think that's what you saw today. We dove right in and we got it done.
When you were hearing the music going into that fifth inning, you know, Queen, does that kind of amp you up, and then the motivation, the crowd kind of getting behind, does that give you any extra?
Yeah, our crowd here is awesome. The Jane it's grown super big in my heart. I love the Jane. I don't really want to play anywhere else but here. It stinks when we're on the road because we have to go to other places. I'm like, man, I wish it was the Jane, but it's not. But yeah, I'm actually a big Queen fan too, so that was pretty sick. But yeah, so it was awesome. It's awesome to play with my team here and to see people I know and love in the stands. It's awesome. I love it here.
You mentioned applying pressure. You got behind both Pola and Grant at times and still managed to get out of those multiple times. And on the weekend, you hold players who had success against you or very little to no success. What does that feel like? Particularly against Poland, when she had the walk-off last year, to hold her 1 for 6 and hold Grant 0 for, what does that feel like?
I mean, I really don't look into it, you know. I look at the job that needs to be done, and I need to get 3 outs. How am I going to do that? It doesn't matter who's standing up there at the plate. And yeah, get 3 outs for my teammates, and my teammates are going to work hard for me, and I'm going to work extremely hard for them. Lay it all on the line, and that's kind of my approach. I don't care who it is. I don't care what jersey they're wearing. I care about our jersey. I care about my teammates, and I care about their numbers, and I care about my people.
Impressive stuff from Lindsey Grind. It just came out 10 minutes ago. Lindsey Grind, rightfully so, earned herself her second Big Ten Pitcher of the Week honors in a moment where Oregon really needed it. Looking at the Big Ten softball standings right now, coming into this series, Oregon and UCLA were tied in the Big Ten standings. Oregon wins the series. Oregon is 14-2 now in Big Ten play. UCLA at 13-3, and the tiebreaker is head-to-head. Meaning essentially Oregon has a 2-game lead over UCLA with 6 Big Ten games and just 2 series left to play. Ducks are in good position if they can close out the season strong to potentially join the list that we headed at the beginning of the show of 5 Oregon teams that have taken home Big Ten titles. Ducks with a crucial series victory to put themselves in position over the weekend with a win against UCLA. Baseball program also needed a crucial series against UCLA. They got it done. A victory on the diamond at PK Park. Breaking down an Oregon baseball series win when we return after this. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Ducks softball won the Friday and Sunday games in a crucial series against UCLA and Eugene. So did Oregon baseball. It was a big series victory for the Ducks on the other diamond at PK Park as Oregon opened up the series with a 2-1 gritty victory in similar fashion the way Oregon softball did it. A complete game. two-hitter for Grayson Grinsell in a 2-1 victory over UCLA. Dominic Hellman drove in both of the runs, one on a single, one on a solo home run to give Oregon that 2-1 Friday win. Then the Ducks, they were competitive for the beginning of Saturday's game. UCLA's offense came alive in the 6th and 7th innings against Oregon on Saturday, ended up winning 14-4 to even up the series. Great thing about Diamond Sports is you can avenge that loss the very next day. It's exactly what Oregon did. The Ducks, just like softball did, came out with a 2-0 early lead. But then UCLA answered. Bruins took a 4-2 lead in the top of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th, leadoff hitter Anson Arrows gets one back with a solo home run, and then later in the inning, Mason Neville hit a 3-run home run. It was the 19th of the season for Mason Neville, and it rewrites Oregon's single-season home run record book. He was in a 3-way tie with himself, Jacob Walsh from last year, and Sabine Ceballos from a year prior. Now Mason Neville sits alone, and we are only in April. There's a lot of time left for Mason Neville to continue to surge on that record book and rewrite it. UCLA then in the game, down 6-4, clawed back, tied it at 6 in the 8th. Both Ian Umlaut in the 6th inning and Seth Maddox in the 8th inning got out of bases-loaded jams against the Bruins in critical spots to keep the game either in Oregon's favor or tied. Then, 8th inning, Berkeley Mabius, first pitch of the inning, hit a solo home run to give Oregon a 7-6 lead. Ducks would score 4 runs in the frame, went up 10-6, ended up closing a Sunday with a 10-6 victory. UCLA entered a game and a half up on Oregon in the standings. The Ducks take the series. UCLA just a half game ahead of Oregon in the Big Ten standings, and Oregon within striking distance of Iowa at the top of the Big Ten standings. Necessary series win for the Ducks. Coach Wazakowski pleased that his team closed the weekend strong.
So how does it feel taking the series today? Just the game overall, how are we feeling?
Good. It's good to, win a conference weekend series. They're hard to win. And against a good program, UCLA, right? And so, the guys played a complete game today. They were a little bit salty after how yesterday ended. I thought we played a really good game yesterday through probably 5+ innings, and then, they were probably pretty salty about how that thing ended. Didn't give us a chance to win 3 games by the way we played yesterday, and came out today and took care of business. I was happy to see that they took ownership in that.
How did the mentality change from yesterday going into today?
I don't know that there's so much mentality change. I think we pitched better, and I think we played well.
Some resiliency there in the 8th inning and that four runs there. Was there something that was said in the dugout in terms of getting the offensive approach going, or was it just after Berkeley's home run that kind of fired everybody up?
Well, there was a lot said in the dugout today. I don't know how much of it was rated G today. We wanted to be the tougher team. We'd felt like we hadn't given that to our fans from time to time. And that was a sore subject for the team. We feel like the fans, when they come out, and we've got sellouts, and they're coming out and showing out, we feel like we owe it to them, to give them their hard-earned money, something that they can be proud of watching. And we felt like we did on Friday. We felt like we did today. Obviously, we wanted to do that today after the way yesterday ended. We were ashamed of the way we went about it at the very end of that ball game, and we wanted to show our fans something different today, and I think that's what the guys chose to do.
So we've seen Burke kind of go backside before, and he hit a double early in the season off the left field wall. Just how impressive was it for him off of upper 90s, 95, 97 to go backside home run there?
Really impressive. I mean, you teed it up pretty good. I mean, the guy's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour, and Burke went first pitch fastball. I think he just got a good barrel on it, and I was happy to see him being aggressive in that situation for a freshman. That's pretty cool. He caught a win too today. Another win that he caught. That's equally as important.
Earlier in the game, Burke laid a bunt that got runners on second and third, and he gets thrown out at first, and he's clapping, and he's pumping his fist. What does intensity in smaller moments like that do for the team?
Selfless, right? Comes from his family. Selfless player, not selfish, but selfless. And he cares about the team. He wants the team to win, and you just see it. He's a heart and soul guy, and he's played really, really well for us, and I hope he continues.
Played a lot of small ball today. How did that help you guys there?
Well, I think you needed to try to break down UCLA's pitching staff, right? We knew that getting into the bullpen was going to be something that would be a key. If we can get into the bullpen, we felt good about our chances to win the game if we were able to do that. We wanted to make sure that their starter, who's traditionally goes 70 pitches, didn't finish the 5th inning. That was one of our goals. And we were able to accomplish that goal. We knew that that would be a big play because that's what they wanted and that's what they've had when they've won, and they've won a lot when that kid started. And so that was one of our goals today. And then we were able to accomplish it. It was just credit to our hitters.
Since it's the single-season program record with home runs with 19, that 3-run shot, just how impressive has this season been? He's cut down on his chase rate. He's walking as many times as he strikes out this year. Just how impressive has he been?
Well, he's a talented young player, and I wish, we recruited him really hard out of high school, and we finished in 2nd place, which is as good as 10th place when it comes to recruiting. It stinks when you lose a kid out of high school, and then when he decided he was going to come our way after his first year, we were thrilled. I would have loved to have had another year with him to be able to help him develop, because he's a tremendous young man, and the only sad part is I didn't get a 3rd year with him to help him in this game, because he's been fun to work with, and on a daily basis. He's not perfect, none of these kids are, but on a daily basis he tries his best. He gives you everything he's got, and he's got a great heart.
What are some exciting things you think we can see out of Mason going forward?
Well, I think you're seeing him. I think I'll just let his play speak for himself. I don't need to speak on his behalf. He's doing plenty of that just fine.
What did you see from Jason today?
Grit. He battled through. He didn't have to go out there in that last inning of work and finish the way he did with a strikeout on the last hitter at close to pitch 100. But he did, and he showed grittiness that we need out of our pitching staff. And he was a very good example for that today, I thought.
Worked out there in the end, but do you feel like you might have left Ian out there a little bit too long to go face Rock, or was that kind of part of the plan?
Nope.
No. The Anson AB, where he's bunting, gets down 0-2, brings it back 3-2. Was there any consideration to just let him swing there at the end, or did you really want that bunt to go?
You always consider stuff like that, but Anson, we felt like that was the right play at the right time.
Maddox closes out the game. Just what do you see from him there?
He was dominant.
Big Ten tournament starts a month from today. Is that something you even allow yourself to start thinking about yet?
Not even close. No.
Second time around against Portland coming up. What can we expect out of that game?
I'm not really to Portland right now. We were just on today, and what can we expect? I guess looking forward, I expect our guys to be salty when we play Portland. We didn't. I don't want to say too much, but our guys aren't in the best mood right now. All right, these guys have played really good. They've got a good record. They're been in the top 25, and they think that they're better than that. And I guess very simply, I don't have a clubhouse with a bunch of happy guys right now. They just think they're better than their record, and at times we haven't shown it, and they know that, and that's something that we own. And so when we get a chance to play the next time and the next time and the next time, I think you're going to see a really a group that has a chip on their shoulder and is dying to play and compete.
Oregon will have to flip the page quick to Portland. Pilots are in town tomorrow. 5 o'clock first pitch, 4:45 pregame on the Oregon Sports Network from PK Park. There was a lot that went down across Oregon athletics over the weekend, breaking down and closing out what was a really strong weekend in Duck athletics when we return after this on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Lear Field.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's time for the Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. There was a whole lot more that went on around Oregon athletics this weekend, including 2 home meets at Hayward Field. I was actually able to go to the Oregon team invite on Saturday where the Ducks took home 7 victories. It was really cool to see the Ducks in a team environment, racing, competing, seeing a lot of Ducks that are national champions and Big Ten champions that then came back around and raced at Hayward Field. It was a really fun environment at Hayward Field over the weekend. Also, Oregon Beach Volleyball, they split their weekend, went 2-2 on the weekend. Oregon Men's Tennis, they swept their weekend, went 2-0 over the weekend. Oregon Women's Tennis went 1-1. And Oregon Lacrosse closed out their regular season down in Southern California, dropping their final game of the year to USC. It really was a very fun weekend to be around Oregon athletics, and especially after going over from PK Park to Hayward Field, the atmosphere was really fun, and there were competitive teams at Hayward Field. Texas A&M, who figures to be in the mix, Oklahoma State, which figures to be in the mix, especially on the men's side of the track and field scene. It was really cool seeing the Ducks compete against some high-quality competition for real points at Hayward Field. It feels like the introduction to what is going to be a really strong next few months coming up at Hayward Field. The environment was great at Hayward Field. If you have the opportunity to come out to Hayward Field for any of the other meets that continue to go on through the rest of the year, I highly encourage that you do. Joey will be back in here for the show tomorrow. It'll be Athletic Director Tuesday. Also, Coach Lombardi will be in studio breaking down the weekend. And it's Oregon baseball game day tomorrow. See you then. Go Ducks.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me.
All righty, will do.
D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay